I got to make sure we got this right so we're not wasting all of the expertise I have on the line. Give me 1 second here. And everybody listen in your mind to the imaginary Jeopardy theme playing. Okay, I think it's working. Let's go ahead and try. I'm going to monitor this. Apocalypse, most of you guys already know. He's a Spreaker prince. He pretty much rules this platform in a very chat warrior-like way. But the other person we have to introduce is apparently the global expert on internet trolls and bullies. Would you please introduce yourself, Doc, your name and your qualifications and what it is that you do in your life?
Yeah, and thank you for saying global. I wouldn't say global yet, but thank you. Now, my name is Michael Nucitelli. I am a New York State licensed psychologist, been a forensic psychologist, and about 4 years ago, I developed a construct called iPredator. It is a cyber criminology theory that ended up getting picked up by the American College of Forensic Examiners. They published it, and that's what I've done since. So I gave up my life as a forensic shrink, and now for the last 3 years, I guess you could say, which I'm trying to create, is a cyber criminal psychologist or profiler. And the construct is iPredator, which includes 7 typologies, essentially addressing the dark side of cyberspace, and which is interesting, trolls and cyberbullying are 2 of the 7 of iPredator typology.
Okay. I read over some of your work already, and I understand that you've actually been a victim of trolling already on Spreaker. Is that true?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. Well, I don't want to say fortunate, but well, for them it's not fortunate because they don't troll me at all. But for any of your listeners, everything I create is free. If you troll triad, just Google it, it'll come up. And download the paper or download the web page. I don't even ask for personal information, and you can hear the you can read the shit that these 3 people try to do.
Okay.
Real quick, they actually sent 170. Can you use profanity?
Absolutely. You can say motherfucker and son of a bitch.
Well, I'm a New Yorker. So they sent a fucking 177-page profile to the New York State Education Department Office of Professional Discipline. No bullshit. You can go read it because I got it all on them. Actually alleging to pull my license, start criminal proceedings against me for what they called homicide by internet. That's how dangerous I suppose. That's what they alleged.
Homicide by internet. That's a hell of a claim there. What kind of evidence do they have for that?
Oh my God. Well, he wrote 6 pages of incredible, crazy nonsense and then included 160 pages of my entire website, blogs, and stuff like that. Like I said, they tried to take it to the Supreme Court in Hawaii. The Supreme Court judge kicked it back and actually called him delusional. This is a guy who's 61 years old. At one time, he was smart, but presently pushes pills online, nutraceuticals, says he has 2 doctoral degrees from Harvard and an MBA from Harvard. I found out he took 3 classes when he was a kid. Never got any doctorate degrees or any MBA from Harvard.
So you're basically exposing him. Let me ask you this. Now, some people are saying we're being too sensitive, Doc, and I think APOC might be one of the defenders of some amount of trolling. Apocalypse, what do you think is the line? Where does somebody cross the line from someone who's having good fun to someone who's wrecking somebody's life?
Usually, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I can.
Fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry. The line that I generally draw is just personal stuff like, leave the kids out. No need to really get too personal. If you want to troll someone, at least troll their ideas and just leave it there. That's usually as far as I go. When I do troll a little bit, and I never go too far. That's one thing people realize. But usually they bring out, what they really feel, and then that's that. And usually we make up and we have a good time. So it's not like I ever go too far or anything like that. So just basically personal details. I think that's too far because then you go beyond the point that's being trying to made.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question? Is if I may, is what is your and as I said, everything is free, but at the website is in the drop down, one page is called just troll, and it took me about 2 weeks, but I was able to compile 123 different types of trolls, 123 of those bad boys. So you've got your straight line internet troll, which to me, I don't know if it's the running definition, but your troll is somebody that just goes into cyberspace and fucks with somebody randomly. But you've got other definitions of trolls. Like I said, 120 of them I was able to put together. One of them being an Amazon troll that will only go to Amazon and mess with people when they publish a book or something like that.
Oh, I've had my share of that with some books that I've published. It's easier to do on Goodreads because typically with Amazon, maybe you can correct me here, Doc, but don't you normally have to buy the book in order to write a review on it?
No. With Amazon trolls, you don't have to buy anything. You become a member. Just like myself, I'm a member of Amazon, but I haven't uploaded anything yet. I mean, I plan on doing it. But as a member of Amazon, I can go on and comment all I want. But what I focus on is the real definition. And, it was great to get on. I didn't know you guys were talking about this. And, to hear about the recent study that came out from Canada regarding the psychopathy, the sadistic nature, and the Machiavellianism, as well as narcissism. I don't know what you guys feel, but from my research and I don't like to say victims, so I say targets. The targets I've dealt with, the internet trolls that have targeted them are pretty close to those descriptors, particularly in the realm of psychopath.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about that. First of all, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys my bias because Apocalypse brought out recently that I was biased and I was against bias, but I am biased. But I tell you what I'm biased towards. I like the field of psychology. I poured some time into psychology. I didn't get to the doc's level, but I got pretty far. And I like the science that goes into it. I have faith in psychology. So I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm going to be biased toward whatever he says on this program. And I've only read parts of it. This is not a prepared interview. I didn't even think the doc was going to be on until maybe next week. So this is all a big surprise. Glad to have him. And Apocalypse is going to help me represent the person who does not have psychiatry training to that level. And I'm going to fall somewhere in between, I think, on those two. So let's talk about it. Let's get it figured out. What I want to know, let's talk more about psychopathy, but also where is the line, Doc, where someone crosses from being someone who's just jabbing at you, having a little fun, to being a troll that maybe, if legal legislation continues to go the way it's going, put in jail for their behavior?
Well, the first thing is, and I don't want to use psychobabble because even though I'm a licensed shrink, 3 years ago, I guess that you could say I broke away from being even though I'm a shrink, I could still, do all that stuff. But my new career is essentially in criminal psychology and profiling, which is very strictly forensics. Even though you're still doing profiling, I got away from the I hate to trash my industry. Is got away from the feel good rehabilitation, mental health. We'll be better with a little medication and counseling. To me, that's bullshit when it comes to cyberspace, particularly when you're dealing with online psychopaths, cyber stalkers, online sexual predators, your hardcore cyber criminals. You're dealing not with mental illness and psychological dysfunction. You're dealing with psychopaths and true antisocial personality disorder. So for me, it is all about thinking about, between the ears of profiling these people. But when it comes to internet trolls, the first thing to look at, if I were sitting down to do an evaluation, and hopefully that day will come, where courts will start to mandate it, is first assessing, is the internet troll getting off on fucking with other people? And getting off means not sexually aroused, because that would make them an online sexual predator. Is that if they're feeling power and control from targeting other folks? Where Apocalypse before said, it's kind of like kidding around, and then towards the end, you kind of, make up or make amends. Well, the real internet stone cold, troll doesn't do that, because their whole thing is getting off because it feeds their grandiosity, because they think that they're great at what they do. So if I can piss you off, or I can, cause you distress because I'm, trashing your wife education line from a psychodynamic standpoint.
Okay, so we're starting to get this line drawn here between play and predator. And I'd like to ask if anybody in the chat room has a question for the doc that you can articulate well, because we have trolls that come in our chat room too, so it's hard to, I try to pay attention to my chat people because I like to show them appreciation. But, ask real questions, serious questions. But we're going to get deeper and deeper into this as long as the doc and APOC will stay on. It's the doc, APOC, and the shock jock KTap. That was very artistic, you have to admit. Let's get into where the laws are going. And let me ask you this, Doc, strictly from a philosophy standpoint, has the internet just become a tool of people that were already warped, or has the internet allowed normal people to fall into warped behavior?
Dear God, if we were in the same room, I'd give you a big guinea hug, because that's almost like I paid you to ask that question. Yeah. That is everything that I spend my life trying to understand. And that is more the heavy philosophical stuff, where iPredator is more of a cyber criminology construct. The question that you're asking is more, is more philosophical, which deals with the information age and how information communication technology in cyberspace has changed us as individual between our ears and us as a society. For your listeners, you guys, you have to understand, we are the only generation, and for you grass smokers, take a toke when I say this, from the beginning of civilization until the end of time, we are the only generation, those of us that are living right now, that will have lived before information age and then during. 30 to 40 years ago from now, when we drop dead, everybody walking the face of the earth will have been born in the information age. The 2-year-olds will already have been given the smartphone as it's starting to be now. So we get the experience of before and after information age. For instance, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't give a shit. When I was a kid, Kevin, you know what my technology was? A fucking CB and a walkie-talkie. Put the pedal to the metal, How about you, big buddy? And when I was a child, I'm 50, when I was a kid, we thought that was the bomb. Mm-hmm. That was technology. And then the walkie-talkie and, oh, man, CBs, oh, man, I couldn't wait to get with my father and drive down to the river and get on the CB and think I was, my handle, was Big Mike. Oh, God. So ridiculous. And here we are now, 30 years, now it's a whole different world. And the most important thing to understand is this. What is the definition of cyberspace? An abstract electronic universe. It's artificial, but we as humanity, and more, we treat it as real, cyberspace. And that is everything. So it's whether or not is it changing our human consciousness, how we think, how we perceive, or some people think we just use it as a tool. What do you guys think?
What do you think about that, Apocalypse? How much of it is a tool? How much of it is an enabling technology? And what challenges do we face being on the brink, coming from the non-information age into the information age?
I personally think it's a tool, but it's just a matter of the individual. If they want to abuse the tool,